This conference will now be recorded.
Now, so now in today's session, we are going to discuss about the controllers. What are the various controllers are available in Visualforce? What is the use of those controllers? And how can we use standard controllers, custom controllers, extension controllers in order to interact with your Salesforce objects to perform the various operations? Okay. So now tell me, as part of Visualforce programming, how many types of controllers are available to you? Three types. What are those? Standard controller, custom controller, extension controller. Okay, these are the three types of controllers are available. Now, then what exactly the standard controller we'll see practically first. And then we'll see when should we go for custom controller and when should we go for extension. We'll see one by one. Now, first of all, we have to use the standard controller first. Okay. Now make a note of this one. Once the user interface has been designed to perform the actions or operations, we need to use the controller classes. We need to use controller classes. Visualforce provides three types of controllers. First one is standard controller. Second one is custom controller. Third one is extension controller. Standard controller, custom controller, and extension controller. First we'll see standard controller. So what exactly is a standard controller? What is the use? And then how to use this standard controller? Now let's see practically. Now generally, controller means what? Class. What it contains? Methods. What the method contains? Some business logic. Okay? Business logic. So whatever the operation you are going to perform, that operation is a business logic we are writing inside the method. That method will be available inside the class. That class we are referencing it as a controller. Okay? Now, so in this case, controller. Controller means class. Standard means what? Standard class. Okay, standard controller means standard class, ready-made class. Now tell me what ready-made classes you know. Account. Okay. We know account class, contact class, opportunity, lead, case, solution, and then hiring manager, and then position underscore underscore C, and some branch underscore underscore C, and some candidate underscore underscore C, like that. So many standard classes are available. Now these classes we have discussed as part of a subject data types. Okay, a subject data types. That already told you data type in the sense a class. Okay, data type in the sense a class. What type of data that variable can hold? We are indicating whether it is holding a numerical type or decimal type, string type, it may be array type, it may be like as an account type or lead type or position type or what type of data it is holding. To indicate that we are using the data types. As part of data types, we have discussed about that, yes, subject data types which are purely used to interact with that Salesforce objects. Okay, which are used to interact with the Salesforce objects. Okay, through programming, we are using this as subject data types, like as account data type, contact, opportunity, lead, case, position, hiring manager, candidate. These are all yes, subject data types which are used to interact with the Salesforce objects through programming, and those so that we can perform some DML operations. We can insert, we can update, we can delete the records, we can merge the records, we can perform all the operations with the help of this subject data types. Okay. Now in this case, what this class contains? Nothing but these are all are ready-made classes which has been given by Salesforce. So account is a class, contact is a class, opportunity is a class, candidate underscore underscore C is a class. These are all our classes. Now tell me what this account class contains. As part of ORM we have discussed. Then account class contains what? Generally a class can have what? Variables, procedures, functions, properties, constructors, everything we can able to define. Now this account class contains what? Not the database. I'm having a table, account table is there. As part of ORM, we have discussed whatever the account table is available, that account table will be representing in the form of an account class. Okay, account table will be representing in the form of account class. Now, how this class will look like? Public class account. So this is the class which has been given by Salesforce by default. We no need to create this class. This class has been given by Salesforce by default upon creating the account object. Okay. As soon as whenever you are creating an object, Salesforce is preparing the tab to you, Salesforce is preparing a table to you, Salesforce is preparing a business logic also in the form of a class. Now as part of account object will be representing in the form of account class, where whatever the fields are there inside the account object, every field will be representing as what? Variable inside this class. Whatever the fields are available inside the account object. Okay, that means table will be transforming in the form of class. In the table we are having fields, nothing but columns. Every column will be representing like a variable inside the class. Now inside the account object, what fields are available? ID field, name field, rating, industry, annual revenue, type, phone, fax, website, billing address information, shipping address information, SLS information, active status, description, owner field, everything is available inside the account object. Now each and every field will be representing like as a variable. Okay, every field will be representing like as a variable. Now first one, ID field. ID field will be representing like as a variable. Then what is that variable name? Public. What is the data type? ID data type. Okay, ID. The field name is ID. Next, name field. Public. String. Name field. Next. Next field. Rating field. Rating field is representing of type what? String. Next, industry. Industry also string type. Next, type field also string type. Ownership, like as public, private, and then subsidiary, other four options are available. That is also comes under the string type. Next, phone, string type. Fax, string type. Website, string type. and then we'll be having the customer priority underscore C, active status underscore C, billing street, billing city, billing state, billing postal code, billing country. Like that, all these fields are referencing that string data type. Okay. Next, there is an annual revenue field that will be comes under what? Decimal, right? Public decimal annual revenue. Next, I'm having created date, last modified by. Then what it contains? Public date, time, created by, and the last modified by. Next, I'm having the owner field. Owner. Owner field will be of type what? String or what? Owner in the sense who is the owner? Users. The user's information is storing. How it is storing that? User ID. So that it will be holding the field called as owner ID field. Okay, owner ID field. That is also of type ID, which will be storing that ID of the owner record, nothing but user record, which user has created this particular record. Okay, the currently logged user will be the owner of the record automatically, so that here the owner's ID will be storing inside the owner ID field. Okay, but in the user interface it is showing let us simply owner. That is a field label. Owner ID is the actual column name inside the field. Okay, now. So now you know this, okay, up to this concept you know. Because what are the table that we have upon creating the object, okay, upon creating the object, what are the table have been prepared by Salesforce, the table will be representing in the form of a class where table name and your class name will be exactly similar. Now, in the table, what are the fields are available, what are the columns are available, every column will be representing like as a variable inside my class. Okay, table will be transformed as a class and the columns will be transforming as the variables. Okay, now, so now here in this case here. Now, when connected to the second class, it will be holding only these variables or do we have any methods inside this? Do we have any methods inside this class? Yes, there are some methods are available. There are some methods are available. How many methods are available? 10 methods are available. Okay, what are those 10 methods? The first method is save method. There is a save, which is having the business logic. There is a method called as save. Now, this save method contains the business logic to save the record into your account. So then who is calling this save method? Like whenever I'm creating an account record, okay, upon creating this account record, you will be having that save button. Okay, you are having this save button. As soon as once you click on that save button, this save button is calling this a save method, which will collect this whole form data. In this form, whatever the text boxes you have entered, all this text boxes data will be sending to the save method. Now the save method will be collecting these values. Based on that, it is saving the record into the object. Once the record has been created, it will redirect the user to the detail field. This is the functionality of save method. What is the functionality of save method? Save method is going to be saving the record into the object. Once the record has been saved, and it will redirect the user to the detail page of the record. So this is the functionality of that save. The business logic has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay, now it will save the record into that account object and it will redirect the user to the detail page of the record. It will redirect the user to the detail page of the record. Okay, so now in this case here, because now when you go to my user interface, when you click on save button, record is saving. How? Without the business logic, the user interface can't do anything. Because user interface is not having any intelligence by default to connect to the database to perform the operation. Behind that button control, okay, there is some business logic is available. Okay, there is some business logic is available. Okay, so which is doing all these operations for you. Okay, which is performing all these operations for you. So that behind this particular user interface, there is a business logic class is available. That's what I told you. Every user interface contains two parts. First one is user interface part, second one is business logic part is available. The business logic is nothing but a class. Now behind this page, nothing but behind this page layout, there is a class called as account class. Okay, because this is the account object page layout. Behind this account object page layout, it is using a class called as account class. Because on this user interface, whatever the buttons are available, upon click on the button, control is invoking some business logic which has been written inside this account class here. Okay, so as soon as once you click on this save button, now the save button is going to be passing all these field values to my variables. Now the save method will be getting invoked. It will collect the values from the variables. It will be inserting the record into the object. Once the record has been inserted successfully, then it will redirect the user to the detail page of record. This is the backend implementation of Salesforce. Okay, so as soon as once you click on the save button, the save method will be getting invoked automatically. Okay, clear? Like the similar, we are having few more methods are available. Publish, void, cancel. So what will this method will do here? This method will cancel the current operation. So whatever the current operation that you are trying to invoke, whatever the current operation that you have initiated, to cancel that current request, we are using that cancel method. Cancel method is having some business logic to cancel the current operation. Whatever the current operation that you are initiated, whatever the operation you are performing right now, if it is taking long time, if you want to cancel that operation, then use that cancel method. Then who is initiating this method? Upon click on the cancel button, now this cancel button is calling this cancel method. Okay? Now, next, I'm having public void delete method. So what this method will do? This method is going to be removing the current record from that object. Whatever the currently opened record is available inside your organization, the currently opened record will be getting removed from your object by default. Okay? So now in this case, it will remove current record from the object. It will remove the current record from the object. So now whatever the buttons are available, when you click on the delete button on any of that existing record, upon click on this delete button is going to be calling this delete method. Now the delete method is going to be collecting the ID of the record from the URL. That record will be getting removed automatically by default. It will collect the record ID from the URL and that record will be getting removed from the object automatically. So that as soon as once you click on the delete button, it will be removing the current record from your object. Next, after that, public void quick save. So what is this quick save button? So once you click on that quick save button, the quick save button is going to be saving the record inside that object, and along with that, the user will stay in the same page itself. It won't redirect the user to the detail page. It will be the user will be stay in the same page itself. Okay. It will save the details of the record. Will stay in the same page. The user will stay in the same page itself. Okay, the user will stay on the same page itself. These are the four basic methods which have been given by the Salesforce by default to perform the operations. We are having that save method, cancel method, delete method, and the cancel method. These are the four methods are available by default. Okay, now. So because these functionalities are common, whenever you are creating any object, for every object Salesforce is providing the page layouts. And every page layout we are having these buttons by default. So that instead of writing this code by the user manually, Salesforce is providing the business logic by default in this case. So that no need to write this code for each and every object manually by your own. So now this business logic has been given by Salesforce by default. Apart from this, if you want some more additional functionality, then build that additional functionality by your own. Okay? Now, in this case, These are the 4 methods have been given by Salesforce. Now, along with that, 6 more methods. Let's see. So now when you go to the any object, okay, once you click on that tab, it is providing that enhanced LSTB control. What is the use of this enhanced LSTB control? Enhanced LSTB control is used to display all the records of your object at one place in the tabular format. In order to display the records in the tabular format at one place, we are using the enhanced LSTB control, which is having the facilities to you to add your own filters to filter out the record based on the starting character, based on some prerequisite user-defined conditions also. Depends upon your requirement, we can able to add your own filters also. Based on the filters, we can able to filter out the records, or based on the starting characters also, we can filter out the records also, and we can able to sort the records based on the required columns, either ascending order or descending order. Also depends upon your requirement. Along with that, it is having the pagination facility by default. Instead of displaying all the records at a time, we can split the records to the various small pieces called as pages, and each page we can display at a time, so that we can reduce the burden on the user interface, so we can reduce the number of server trips, we can reduce the load on the user interface, so it will be loading very fastly, so that we can able to make our application performance improve. That facility is available. So that to make your user interface lightweight, don't display all the records. Of course, you might be having some lakhs of records inside your object, or you may be having some thousands of records inside your object. Don't display all the records at a time. Okay? So whatever the records you want, just you can display some records. If these are not useful, go to the next 10 records, or next 50 records, next 400 records. Like that, we can able to navigate the records from starting to ending, or ending to starting, also using some navigation buttons. So don't display all the records at a time, because to display all these records, to load this entire records, it will take some more time. For that reason, to make the user interface lightweight, to make your application performance improve, they have introduced that pagination facility also by default. So as part of this pagination facilities, whenever if you want to display those records, instead of displaying all the records at a time, if you want to display only some records at a time, we are using pagination to navigate the records. We are having 4 navigation buttons are available. What are those 4 navigation buttons that we have? First navigation button, next navigation button, previous, and then last. Okay, 4 navigation buttons. These are the 4 navigation buttons are available. This is the first navigation button, and then this is the previous navigation button. So now this is the first navigation button, and the previous navigation button, next button, and the last button. These are the 4 buttons are available here. So now currently we are at the first page, so the first button and the previous button will be in disabled state. When you click on that next button, next set of records will be getting visible to you. When you click on that first button, first set of records. When you click on last button, last set of records. When you click on previous button, previous set of records. So these are the command links. These are not the output links, these are the command links. Because they are representing in the form of different appearance like as a hyperlink string. So in this case, these are the 4 buttons are available. Once you click on that button, control it is performing some action stream. Okay. So in this case, to perform these actions, behind this button controls, we are having some business logic. So the business logic has been given by Salesforce by default by providing 4 methods inside this. Okay. As part of this class, they have provided the pagination methods also. They are given some pagination methods. How many pagination methods have been given by Salesforce? 6 pagination methods Salesforce has been given by you by default. What are those methods? Now let me explain. The first one is public void first method. Okay, first method. As soon as once you click on the first button here, it will call this the first method. Now the first method is going to be loading the first set of records inside your tabular format. Okay. It will load the first page records in the user interface. Okay. It will load the first page records in the tabular format, so that we can see the first set of records, first 10 records, first 25, first 50, first 100, or first 200, whatever. Next. After that, we are having the next button. Once you click on the next button, it is getting the next set of records. How it is collecting the, for that one, there is a business logic is available. Public void, next method. Okay. Now, it will load the next page records inside the pagination. In the pagination, whatever the next set of records are available, that next page records will be getting visible to you with the help of that text button. Now, I'm having the previous button. Once you click on the previous button, previous set of records will be getting visible. How? For that one, it is providing a method by default. Public void previous. It will load the previous page records inside the pagination. Next, after that, we are having that last button. Once you click on the last button, last set of records will be getting visible. How? For that one, it is providing the method called as public void last. It will load the last page records inside the pagination. Okay. So these are the 4 buttons. Okay. Related to the 4 buttons, we are having 4 methods are available. First method, next method, previous method, last method. These are the 4 methods are available, which are attached with those 4 button controls. Once you click on a button control, definitely it will be invoking one method. Okay, that method is available inside a class. Okay, now next. So now here in this case, currently the next button and the last button is in disabled state. Why? These are not enabled. These are in disabled state. Why? Because we don't have any more pages. Currently we are at the last page, so we don't have any more next pages, so that currently it is disabling. How does it know we don't have any new pages again? For that one, it is having a method. Here it is having a method. Public boolean has next. That means what? This method is going to be returning either true or false. Okay, this method is returning either true or false. When it returns true as next, if you are having next page records, then it will be returning true. That is indicating, now here it is indicating this button should be get visible. That means how to display the button control generally? How can we make that button to be visible, invisible? Rendered property. For this rendered property, what value we need to supply? True or false. Now it is indicating that true. When, if you are having the next set of records are available, this method is returning the true. The true will be passing to that rendered button, rendered property. Rendered property will be displaying this button controller. Suppose if you don't have any new record, currently we are at the last page records, then it is returning what? False. Rendered equals to false means what? Don't display the button control. That's why it is disabling these 2 button controls over here. Okay? We are passing these values to the rendered property. The rendered property will take care of it, will be dynamically disabling the button control. So in order to know do we have next set of records available or not, we are using that as next method, so which will be returning true if the next set of methods are available. If the next page is not available, it is returning the value false. Based on that, we can decide whether we can disable or enable these button controls. Okay. Now we can raise a question, sir, why do we need to disable this button control? Why can't we make it enable? If the button is enabled, the user will be keep on clicking on the button control. Even though currently he is at the last page, he will keep on clicking on that button control. He will be making that application not working properly. Okay. Basically here, the problem is not with the application, problem is with the user. Currently he is at the last page record. We don't have any more records. Okay. So now in this case, if the button is visible, the user will keep on trying to click on that button control. Even though he is at the last stage, okay, he will be keep on clicking on that button control. But he will break that application. There is a problem in the application. For that one, I don't want to give the chance to the user. If I'm disabling the button control, then user will start up. So currently I'm at the last stage. So we don't have any more pages, so buttons are not visible. So I don't want to give that chance to the user. For that one, I want to disable or enable the button controls. Because for that one, I'm using the as next method. Okay? Clear? That means whatever the functionalities we are using in the default page layouts, behind every button control, behind every feature, there is a business logic in the button. The business logic has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay? Now, This method is used to enable or disable the button controls in the pagination based on the availability of the next page records. Availability of the next page records. It returns true if the next page records exist. Else, it returns false. Else, it returns false. This is the functionality of as next method, which will be returning the value as Boolean type. Done? Next. Now, when you click on that first one, currently we are at the first page records. Do we have any more previous page records now? No. So that here, the previous button and then first button has been in disabled state. So how does it know do we have the previous set of records are available or not? For that now it is providing one more method. Public Boolean has previous. Okay, one more method. So this method is also used to indicate here to enable or to disable the button controls in the pagination based on the availability of the previous page records. So it returns true if the previous page records are available. Okay, the previous page records exist, or else it will be returning the value false. So these are the total 10 methods has been given by the Salesforce inside your account class. Now these same 10 methods are available in your account class, contact class, lead class, case class, position underscore C class, hiring manager underscore C class, branch underscore C class. In every standard class, these 10 methods are common. Okay, these are 10 methods are common in every standard class which has been given by Salesforce as part of your subject data type. In every subject data type class, we are having these 10 methods are common. These fields are different because object to object fields are different, so these variables are different, but these 10 methods are common in every class. In our account class also we are having these 10 methods, in contact class also 10 methods, in the case class also 10 methods, lead class also 10 methods, position underscore C class also these same 10 methods are available, there is no change. But these fields are different because depends upon the object fields are different. When you go to the position object, different fields are there. Hiring manager, different fields are there. Case object, different fields are there. Lead object, different fields are. So these variables are different, but these methods are common in every subject data type. In every subject data type class, these 10 methods are common. No change. Because of these 10 methods only, we are able to create the records, modify the record, delete the records, view the record. We are able to perform all the operations. So without designing anything, without adding any business logic. Okay. So once the object has been getting created, we are able to manage the records by default because this business logic class has been given by Salesforce by default for you. Okay. This business logic class has been given by Salesforce by default. So now this class is a standard class which has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay, clear? Now, so now here in this case, let's come to that scenario. Understood the concept here up to this one? How the class is building by Salesforce, what it contains internally, what is the purpose of each and every method, what methods are available. You know this one? Understood the concept as of now? Next. Now, for example, assume that I want to design a user interface to create my account records. Okay. In order to create an account record, I want to design the user interface. Now you can raise a question, sir, already Salesforce has given a page layout, then why you are creating one more page layout? So whatever the page layout has been given by Salesforce, that page layout is not being like good for them. the background colors, styles. I'm not looking. It is not looking like attractive. Okay, I'm not satisfied with this look and feel. I want to design by my own. I want to apply my own styles, my own colors. Okay, so I want to make my user interface look like attractive. For example, for that one, I'm having a user interface. So I'm having this user interface. So this is the user interface that we have. So to create a new account record, here I'm preparing a page. I'm designing a page, new account creation page. Okay, new account creation page. This is my Visualforce page name, which I'm designing to create my account records inside this. I'm having some fields inside this. Name, rating, industry, and then some revenue, phone, fax. Now, I'm having these fields. I'm placing some text boxes in order to enter the data. In order to enter the data, I'm placing some text boxes over here. I'm placing these text boxes. So this is under one section. Is under one section. Now I would like to have some more fields. Like the PAN number and then passport number. I would like to have these two fields. I'm placing two text boxes over here. To enter the PAN number, one field. To enter the passport number, I'm entering one more field. So these are the two more fields I'm placing over here. So these fields should be under a different section. Along with that, I'm placing some more information. I'm placing that email ID field. I'm placing this email ID field. I'm placing this active status field. Status. So I'm placing this active status field. So in this case, this active status field will be of type a pickist. So which will be having some values inside this. It will be having some values inside this. Now by default, I'm indicating the value. None. I'm indicating this value. Here I would like to place some button controls. I'm placing some button controls over here. So these are the button controls I would like to place inside this. Here I'm placing some button controls. Save button and the cancel button and the delete button. Three button controls I'm placing over here. Cancel button. So this is my user interface. Okay, I'm having my user interface. Whenever I'm going to be creating an account record, okay, I would like to have these fields. Remaining fields I don't want. I'm pressing the name field, rating field, industry, annual revenue, phone number, fax number, and the PAN number field, passport number field, email ID field, and then status field. So these are the various of fields are available. After entering the data inside this field, okay. So upon entering the data inside this field, I would like to make some of the fields are mandatory. I'm making this field as mandatory. Okay, now I'm making this name field as a mandatory field. Rating field also a mandatory field. Rating is also a mandatory field for me. And then status is also a mandatory field for me. And then along with that, I want to make this contact number field also a mandatory field for me. These are the fields I'm making it as mandatory over here. I'm having some fields and then some of the fields are mandatory, remaining fields are optional. Now in this case, after entering some data inside this field, I want to click on that save. Where you want to save this record, in which object you want to save? Account object, because this is an account record. Now, after entering some data inside my text box, now once you click on the save, you need to save the record into the object file. For that one, we need some business logic, right? Without having the business logic, when you click on save button, nothing will happen. Okay, just it will refresh the page, that's it. But what I want to do, after entering some data inside this field, when you click on save button, now I want to save the record into the object. Now tell me, do we have any ready-made business logic to save the record? Do we have any ready-made business logic to save the record? Yes. Where is that? Standard class. What class? Account class. Why? Because I can't use contact class. In that contact class also I'm having the same save method. Once you call the save method, what it will do, it will save the record into the contact object. In my case object, the case class also I'm having the same method. Once you call that save method, it will save the record into the case object. In my position object also I'm having the same method. When you call that method to save the record into the position object. But now in which object we want to save this record? Account object, because this is an account record. So I want to use a save method of which class? Account class. Account class is a standard one or custom one? Standard. Why standard is having prepared by Salesforce? We haven't prepared that class. That class has been prepared by Salesforce. So it is a standard class. That means what I'm doing, instead of writing the business logic by my own, I want to use a ready-made business logic which I have been given by Salesforce. I'm using the ready-made class given by Salesforce. I'm using the ready-made control given by the Salesforce. It is called as standard controller. Okay. Now in this case, what happened? Here I am having the delete button also. Once you click on the delete button, I want to delete the record. Do we have any ready-made delete method is available to you? Yes. I want to cancel that operation. Do we have ready-made cancel functionality? Yes, we are having. All these functionalities are available in build. Okay. So that Salesforce has given that ready-made class to you. Okay. Salesforce has given that ready-made class to you that is called as account class. In that account class, we are having all these methods are available. Okay, we are having that standard class, public class, account class. In that class, we are having the ready-made methods are available. Save method is available. Cancel method is available. Delete method. And then quick save method. First method. Next method. Previous method, last method, and along with that we are having as next. As next. So these are the methods are available, okay, inside my account class. In my account class, these are the various methods are available. These are the page generation methods. Okay. Now, I'm having all these methods are available inbuilt. Ready-madely has been given by Salesforce to me by default. I'm having the save method, cancel, delete, quick save. All these methods are being given by Salesforce by default. So now this class is a standard class which has been given by Salesforce to me by default. So now here in this case, okay, now here in this case, Inside my user interface, what I need to do, I want to use this class. Okay, I want to use this class, okay, to perform operation. Because I want to save the record. So save method is ready-made available. I want to delete the record. Delete method is ready-made available. I want to cancel the record. Cancel method is ready-made available. So that here, as soon as once you click on that, upon using this Visualforce page, I want to refer to the standard class. So whenever you are using standard functionalities inside the Visualforce page, then we have to use the standard controller. Okay, standard controller. Then how can we attach this class with this particular page? How can we bind this to? How can we indicate that? That means upon click on that save button, how this page will know this particular save method is available inside that account class only. How it will be aware of this? For that now we have to map the link between these two. How can we map this link? Whenever I'm designing my Visualforce page, okay, upon designing my Visualforce page, inside the page tag, okay, inside the page tag, we have a property called as standard controller. In this standard controller, we have to specify the name of the class in which the business logic has been implemented. What is the class name here? Account. So specify. That's it. Okay, this is the linking process. So now we are linking this account class with my page. That means here inside my pages, I'm having so many button controls are available. I'm performing some operations. When you click on the button controls, I'm calling some methods. Those methods have been defined inside a class called as account class. That class is a standard class. That is not my custom class, it is a standard class. So I'm using the property called as standard controller property. Okay? Clear? Understood the concept here? Now, so what is the use of standard controller? Standard controller means what? Whenever if you are referencing the standard functionalities inside the Visualforce page. I'm not building my own business logic. I'm using the ready-made business logic given by Salesforce. At that time, if you are referencing the standard class functionalities inside your Visualforce page, then we have to attach that class inside your page with the help of a property called as standard controller. Okay? Clear? Understood the concept? Any questions still? Yeah, tell me.
Sir, this standard controller new is also one of the functions. New button. If we go on a new button, then new page is coming.
That will be a page redirection. That's it. That's it. Simply it will redirect it.
Redirecting and the data is not appeared there is a fresh page.
Yes, that is a fresh page.
So it is also a functionality.
That is a page that will be referencing onto the page, but there is no business logic inside. It is not saving any operations. Simply it will be redirecting to the fresh page. That's it.
And the active underscore see that function.
It's a field.
It's a field. And this field is under the Boolean data.
Which one?
Active underscore.
No, it's not a Boolean field. It's a string field. No, active checkbox is not a checkbox type. That is a fictitious type which is having the value yes or no. Okay. If it is a checkbox, then only it will be referencing true or false. Okay. Yeah.
Edit option. What is the class?
Further from the page, the same class is available, but that will be loading a different page key. Okay, just the page will be different. Okay, the content it is not performing any DML operation. Just it is loading the data in a specific page itself. That is a separate user interface. That's what I told you previously. Okay, I showed you the practical proof also. Behind every button control, there is a page. Okay, that already told you over here. Like see, when you go to the setup, that is my account object. Go to the customize. Go to the accounts. Go to the buttons, links, and actions section. Okay, go to the buttons, links, and actions section. These are the various buttons are available on my account object. These are the links and actions are available. Accounts tab, okay, accounts tab. As soon as once you click on the tab, it is loading the start page. Salesforce is loading the page. So now we are having the delete button. Behind this delete button, there is a page is available. So now behind this edit button, there is a page is available. Behind this list button to display all the records, there is a page is available. And behind that view button, there is a page. Behind this view button, nothing but detail page, there is a page is available. These are all of the ready-made pages given by Salesforce. It will be redirecting the user. Once operation has been done, it will redirect the user to that particular pages by default. Okay? Every button control is associated with the page. Now, so now here in this case. Now in this case, inside your Visualforce page, whenever you are referencing the standard classes, standard business logics or the standard functionalities, if you are referencing inside the Visualforce page, then we have to use standard controller. Okay, then we have to use standard controller. Okay, clear? Understood the concept? Now, so now here in this case, make a note of this one. Standard controller. Standard controller. When the user wants to reference the standard functionalities inside the Visualforce page, to be used to perform the operations. To be used to perform the operations, then we have to use standard controller. Then we have to use standard controller. We need to reference the corresponding standard class inside the Visualforce page by using standard controller attribute or the property. Standard controller property. Suppose if anybody is from .NET background, okay, ASP.NET at that time, behind that ASP.NET page there is a property called as code behind. Okay? There is a property called as code behind. In that code behind the property, they are indicating this is a class name where exactly business logic has been implemented, which will be referencing by the apex because the ASP.NET page. Okay, they're using the property called as code behind. Like the similar way here also, we are going to be referencing the standard class name inside the page. Now, the syntax. Apex page standard controller equals to S object name. Remaining properties are common by Apex page. For example, I want to use that account object here. So Apex page standard controller equals to account. By Apex page. How can we invoke that button control here? How can we call the method? By using action property. Okay, that action property is available where? Command button. Command button value equals to, for example, some say action. Action equals to, how can you specify the method? Lower cases. Now what is that method name? Which method you would like to call? Save. That's it. Apex command button value equals to delete. I want to call that method. So action property equals to delete. I want to call value equals to cancel. Action equals to cancel. That's it. Understood the concept here? Standard controller. Now, for example, I'm designing a Visualforce page to create a position record. Okay? To create a position record, I have designed a Visualforce page. There also I'm having save button, delete button, cancel. Now, what we do? Do we have any standard class has been given by Salesforce for your position object? Yes. Okay. So in this case, what is that class name? Position underscore C. In that class, we have these methods, save, delete, cancel methods are available? Yes. Okay, those are available. In every subject class, we are having the second methods common. Okay. Affects page standard control equals to position underscore C. That means here we are indicating. So now once you click on that save button, please call the save method. Which class of save method you want me to class? Please call the save method as the position class because I want to create the record inside my position object. Okay. Don't think like sir, this position object is my custom object, but position object is my custom object I have created. But this class has been created by whom? Salesforce has created that class. So that it is a standard class. Yes, yes. Every custom object is having its own internal class given by Salesforce that will be comes under standard control.
Sir, please command button, sir, change to page block button. Command button, sir, change to page block.
There we can place. Just I'm placing the button control. That's it. I haven't written that complete code. Just for your information, I'll give it this one. Done? Done. So now then, when should we go for standard controller? Whenever if I want to utilize that standard functionalities inside the Visualforce page, then we can go with the standard controller. Standard controller can be attached with your page by using a property called as standard controller property. In that one, we have to specify the name of the standard class, whose business logic you want to invoke from your Visualforce page. Okay? Now, next one. Custom controller. Now, next one. So now let's see the custom controller. So what exactly the custom controller? What is it? Okay, how can we reference? Now let's see. For example, sometimes my customer requirement is like this. My customer requirement is like this. So my customer is expecting a Visualforce page like this. This is the Visualforce page my customer is expecting right now. So my Visualforce page name is search accounts page. Okay, here's my Visualforce page. So what is the use of this page? I want to search for some accounting cards. Okay, based on passing some search characters, some starting characters, I would like to search for the accounting cards. For example, here I'm passing some characters like some text. After entering some characters test, when I click on that search accounts button, based on these characters, whatever the account records are available inside my object, whose name is starting with the character test, I want to collect all those account records. Those records I want to show inside my tabular format. Okay, I want to show those records in the tabular format. That means I want to search for the record based on the input characters entered by the user. Based on the input values, once I click on that search accounts button, I want to search for the matching records. Those matching records I want to represent inside my user interface in the tabular format. Now tell me, do we have any such memories available inside my class? What records were searching now? Account records are searching. Okay, these fields are from account. So I'm searching for the account records based on these characters. Now tell me, inside my account class, what methods are available? Save method, quick save, cancel, delete, first, next, previous, last, and previous, after. Do we have any searching method is available? No. Then what we can do? If the functionality, that means whatever the ready-made methods given by Salesforce, that is not sufficient for me. Save method is not useful to me. And then delete method is not useful to me. I want a searching method. Do we have that searching method ready-madely? No. Then what we can do? We need to implement by our own. Then how to implement your own business logic here? That means upon click on the button control, I want to call a method which will be searching for the data based on this input, and that data we can represent in my tabular format. For that one, we need to write some business logic, right? Where we can write the business logic inside a method. That method we need to place inside a class. That class who will prepare? Will Salesforce prepare, or do we need to prepare? We need to prepare that class. So we are preparing our own custom classes here. Now I'm preparing my own class. Because inside my account class, I'm having so many methods, but those methods are not suits to me for my requirement. For my previous requirement, those methods are suitable, but for this requirement, those methods are not suits to me. In this case, if the ready-made features are not sufficient, ready-made functionalities are not sufficient, if you want your own, then we can build your own business logic here. I'm preparing my own class. For example, public class, accounts, helper. Okay, search accounts helper or search accounts controller. I'm implementing that. I'm preparing the class. Inside this class, I'm preparing a method. Public void search accounts. Here I'm writing the business logic. Write the business logic to search the records. In order to search the records, whatever the business logic is required, that business logic I'm writing inside my class. Inside my class, I'm writing this business logic. Okay. So now here I'm preparing a class. Inside this class, I'm preparing the business logic. So this is the method which I have prepared, which is having the actual business logic in order to search for the record. Now, in this case, here what needs to be done? Once I click on this button control, which method will need to call now? Search accounts method. So as soon as once I click on that search accounts button, okay, upon click on this button control, I would like to call this particular method. Okay. Then how can we call this method now? Action property. Okay, right. Now I'm writing this action property like as for example apex command button value equals to search accounts. Okay, this is the caption of my button control, and this is the caption of my button control search account. Next, action. What is that method we need to call? Set accounts. Okay, search accounts. Now, where this method is available? In our account class? No. Where? Inside my separate class. If this is my own custom class. How can we inform to the Visualforce page whatever the class or that are referencing that is available inside a separate class? How can we inform? So now this class is what? Is it a standard class or custom class? Custom class. That means I'm using custom controller inside my Visualforce page. How can we reference this custom controller inside the Visualforce page? Now let's see. Whenever we are going to be using that custom controller class inside the Visualforce page, then what is the property we need to use? Not custom controller, simply controller. Okay? Now, simply controller. What is that class name? Search accounts controller. Okay, search accounts controller. Okay, that means what? Whenever I'm designing the Visualforce page, in that Visualforce page, whatever the buttons are available, whatever the business logic that we're expecting, if the business logic is not covered with the Salesforce, then you can able to implement your own business logic by preparing your own class. Okay, we can prepare the business logic by using your own class, and that class you can able to reference inside my Visualforce page. So whenever we are referencing the custom class inside the Visualforce page, then it is called as custom controller. So at that time, the custom class we have reference inside the Visualforce page by using a property called as controller property. Controller means custom controller. Controller equals to your custom class name which you are referencing inside your Visualforce page. Then how can we invoke this button control? That button control we are going to be using like this. Now, so that button control are using like this. Apex command button value equals to search account, and then action property. We can specify the method name. What is the method name? Search accounts. Okay, search accounts. That's it. Okay, so this is the method. So now whenever if you want your own custom functionalities, then you can define your own class, and that class you can reference inside your Visualforce page with the help of the custom controller. Okay, clear? Now make a note of this one. Custom controller. Now, upon implementing the application features, if the standard functionalities are not suitable, for the application, then we can implement our own custom business logic. We can implement our own custom business logic by preparing our own class, and we can reference the custom controller classes inside the Visualforce page. By using controller property inside the page tag. Inside the page tag, we can able to reference that class by using the controller property. Syntax. Apex page controller. Here I'm giving a sample class information. Public class search accounts controller. Public void search account accounts. Here I am writing the business logic to search account accounts by using this particular code. Controller equals to search accounts controller. Apex command button value equals to search accounts, and the action property equals to search accounts accounts. Practice is very important for the Visualforce. Previously, we have implemented only the Apex class, one side. But now we are working both the sides. User interface we have to implement, business logic also we have to implement. Both we have to match parallel. We have to link these two also. So that practice is very important for the Visualforce programming. Done? Done with these points? No. Next. The last one. extension controller. Now, next one. I'm having a requirement like this. I'm having a requirement like this. I want to create a new account record inside my object. Okay, I want to create a new account record inside my object. For that reason, I'm using this user interface. Okay, to create the new account records inside my object, I'm using this user interface. So inside this user interface, I'm having the buttons like this. I have a cancel button. I have one more button is available over here. I'm having a button called as insert record. Now tell me how can we achieve this? Inserting means saving the record, okay? Cancel means cancelling the operation. Then tell me what controller we need to use. What? Why?
Standard is
Cancel is
Standard for cancel.
Cancel is standard, okay?
And insert.
Insert means what? Save. Do you have save method? Then caption may be anything. We can give any caption, no problem. Caption may be anything. What I'm expecting when I click on insert record, record has to save. For the save, do we have any method? Yes, save method is there. Then, in this case, what we can do generally, okay, don't concentrate on the caption. Caption may be anything. Okay, concentrate on the functionality. Okay, when you click on the insert record button, record has to be inserted. Okay, record has to be get inserted. For example, for your convenience, okay, so now I'm removing this one. I'm placing the save. Okay, now we are also saving. I want to save the record, I want to cancel the record. Do we have any ready-made functionality? Yes. What we can use? Standard account class again. But here there is a small change in the requirement here. Okay? There is a small change in my application requirement. So now, as soon as once you click on that save button, generally the standard save method we are invoking. The standard save method, what it will do? Blindly, it will be saving the record into the object. That's it. Okay. The standard save method, whatever we have, which have been given by Salesforce, now once you click on that save button, now the save method button is calling that save method. Save method will blindly saving the record inside the object, even though you may be creating multiple records with the same details, with the same name, with the same phone number, with the same fax number, same industry, same account, whatever. It won't bother about that. Simply the user has entered the data and the mandatory fields are not that simple. If the user has entered the data, then it won't verify that. It won't verify is it a unique value or that same duplicate values. It won't translate that. Blindly, it will be saving the record into my object. But now, my requirement is, as soon as once I click on the save button, record should not save into my object directly. First of all, it has to verify with this account record name and with this industry value, with this phone number. These are the three values I would like to take into consideration. Now I want to maintain the uniqueness of the record based on the three fields. Okay, so based on these three fields over here. Now The first field is I would like to use that account record name field. So this is the name field. And then industry field. I would like to consider the industry field. I would like to take that phone field. Based on these three fields, I want to maintain the uniqueness. That is my requirement. Okay? Based on the phone number, account name, and the industry. That means what? After entering some data inside my fields, when you click on that save button, it should not save the record blindly. First of all, it has to verify with this account name and in this industry, with this phone number, do we have a record is existent? If the record is exists, then it has to show some message to me, duplicate record found, so this record cannot be acceptable. If the record is not found, then I want to insert the record inside my object. That is my requirement as part of save. Once I click on the cancel button, save functionality cancel. Then now tell me how to do this. For this cancel, do we have any ready-made method is available? Yes. Okay, cancel first. For the cancel, we are having the ready-made method. For the save, I want to eliminate the duplicates. For this one, do we have? No. Then what we can do? Okay, we need to implement our own custom save functionality. Okay, we need to implement our own custom save functionality. For the cancel, what we can do? Standard. That means what we are using one custom and using one standard. Both I am mixing together. In this case, we can go with that. What kind of controllers? Extension control. That means I am using the standard functionalities along with by extending the functionality by adding by my own. Okay, we can use the standard functionalities as it is. Along with that, we can able to extend the functionalities by adding your own business logic by creating your own class. Now, in this case here, I am preparing this business logic. So now here I am preparing this business logic. Public class accounts controller. I'm preparing that method public void validate duplicate accounts. Here I'm writing the business logic. Write the business logic. As part of this business logic here, now I want to verify, check for the duplicate records. In this case, if the duplicate records exist, then show the error message. If the duplicate records not exist, then insert the record. For that one, whatever the business logic is required, I am writing this business logic inside my class. So I am preparing a class with the name accounts controller. In that one, I am preparing a method with the name validate duplicate accounts. I am writing the business logic. First of all, I am verifying for the duplication verification process. How to check for the duplication? You know that concept. We are using the count method. Based on that count method, we can verify with this name, with this industry, with this phone number, how many number of records are available. If the count is greater than 1, okay, greater than 0, that means already record is exists. That means I want to show the message, record cannot be inserted because this is a duplicate record. If the count is 0, then we are prohibited to insert in the record by using insert statement directly. Now, so this is the business logic I am preparing as part of my requirement. So this is my business logic class. Inside that class, I am going to preparing this method. So now in this case, as soon as once you click on that save button, I need to call this particular method. So upon click on that save button, okay. As soon as once you click on that save button, I want to call this method. Okay. As soon as once you click on that save button, I want to call this method. So this is a method I would like to invoke. Now, once you click on that cancel button, then what we can do? What cancel method we need to invoke? Standard cancel method we would like to invoke over here. Okay, I would like to invoke that standard cancel method. I'm having that standard classes available which has been given by Salesforce. Salesforce is having the standard class, public class, account. In that class, I'm having the save method, cancel method, delete method, quick save method. Like that, so many methods are available here. Now I want to call this a cancel method. Okay, I want to call this cancel method upon click on that cancel method. So now here, as soon as once you click on that cancel button, I would like to call this a cancel method. I'm invoking this cancel method. So in this case, I'm using standard and custom functionalities both. So now this is the custom class. This is the custom class, and this is the standard class. Okay, standard class. That means what? In some cases, we need both standard functionalities as well as custom functionalities. Both I would like to mix together. In this case, what needs to be done? We need to use standard controller along with the custom controllers also. So with this custom controller, we have to use with the property called as extensions. Okay, with the help of extensions. Okay, clear? Now, in this case, whenever we are implementing the application functionalities, where if we want to use both standard functionalities and custom functionalities, then we have to use extension controller. So now this extension controller should be always used along with the standard or custom controller. So in this case, how can we attach this class now? So now here I am attaching this class. Appends page. Standard controller. What is the class name? Account. Next. Extension or extensions? Extensions or extension? Plural or singular? Singular? Plural. Okay. We have to use extension. That means not only one extension controller class, we can use multiple extension controller classes also inside a single Visualforce page. So what is my class name here? Accounts controller. Okay. Accounts controller. Suppose, for example, there is a question that I'm having one more class also. Because once a record has been getting created successfully, then I want to send one email notification also to the people. Okay, I want to send some email notification also to the people. At that time, I want to use one more class. There is a class called as messaging utility class, which I have prepared to send a notification. I want to use that class also. At that time, give a comma, specify that class name. Messaging utility. Okay, messaging utility. That means if you want to use multiple extension control classes, we can specify those classes by separating a comma. Okay, so this is a common question. In a single Visualforce page, how many standard controllers we can use? Standard controllers, how many? Only one. Custom controllers, how many? Only one. Extension controllers, how many? Multiple we can able to use. Okay, it's a common question in the interview point of view. Okay. Clear? So whenever upon implementing the application functionality, if there is a requirement where we need to use both standard functionalities and custom functionalities to be get used inside a single Visualforce page, then we can go with the standard controller along with extensions. Not only one extension controller, we can use multiple extension controller classes inside the Visualforce page by separating a comma. Okay? Clear? One standard controller, multiple extension controllers we can able to use inside. Okay? Always, a Visualforce page can have only one standard controller, only one custom controller, multiple extension controllers inside a Visualforce page. Okay? Clear? So now in this case, how can we call these methods over here? How can we call these methods? Appends command button. Value equals to save. Action equals to What is that method name? Validate duplicate accounts. Next one. Second one. Another button control. Apex command button. Value equals to cancel. Then action equals to what is that method name? Cancel. Okay, cancel. That's it. We are using the two button controls and then we are going to be calling those two methods, but those methods are from different classes. One method is from the standard class and the method is from the custom class. So at that time we can able to use multiple extension classes also inside our single Visualforce. These are the three types of controllers are available inside your Visualforce. Standard controller, custom controller, extension controller. If you are using purely standard functionalities inside the page, go with the standard controller. If you want to use everything as custom, go with the custom controller. If you want to use a combination of both, then go with the extension controllers. Okay? Clear? So depends upon your application requirement, we should be able to decide which type of controller we should go, either standard or custom or extension. Yeah.
Sir, we are building the custom controller. But why we use the extension in
Now, because here if it is a custom, everything we have to use custom ones. But here something I want to use standard, something I want to use custom. At that time, upon using this standard, we can extend the additional functionalities by using by my own. For that one, we are using standard along with custom.
can we
If you are using custom controller, everything we have to use custom one, not standard we can't use. At that time, if you want to use standard along with custom, then you can go with the extensions.
can we use in a custom controller multiple extensions?
Yes, we can use. We can use. Okay, extension controller should be used with either standard controller or custom controller.
But in a custom controller, we already made what we
Right. Whatever the additional methods that we are expecting, those are not there inside the class. What we can do? Those are there available inside a different class. I want to use both. For that one custom, one extension. Yes, right.
Sir, can we invoke any URL? Invoking of URL.
Invoking the URL in the sense.
For example, making of the payment. When we click on payment button,
Okay.
invoke that payment.
Yes.
How can we do it?
Yeah. For that one, we have to use a class as page reference. By using page reference class, we can redirect the user to a specific URL also. That possibility is there. Okay. If you are having any payment gateways are available, we can invoke by using that web services or by using that page reference class, we can directly invoke that URLs.
Sir, what is this messaging between messaging?
Like a separate class to send some email notifications. Okay. It's not a standard, it's my own, for example. Okay. Okay. Clear? Now make a note of this one. Extension controllers. In few cases, in the application development, we have to mix both standard functionalities and custom functionalities inside the Visualforce page. Inside the Visualforce page. Then we can use the standard functionalities standard functionalities aligned with the extensions. Aligned with the extensions. That is, additional functionalities we have to implement by our own by preparing the custom classes. By preparing the custom classes. And we can reference the custom class inside the Visualforce page by using extensions property. A Visualforce page can reference one or more extension controllers. Syntax. We can specify Apex page standard controller equals to the class name, and then we can specify extensions equals to the class name 1, class name 2, like that. Apex page. For example, I would like to go with this. Public class accounts extensions. Public void check duplicate accounts. Then up to the syntax part. Done. So in tomorrow's session, we'll see how to place the input controls inside your Visualforce page and how can we override the standard button controls. We'll see practically. Okay. Initially, we'll see how to design the edit page, and then we'll see how to design the detail page, and then we'll see how to prepare the tab panels and the tab controls. We'll see practically, and after that, we'll move forward to the custom controllers concept. Okay, and then once the custom controllers is over, then we'll move forward to the extension controller concept. Okay, one by one, each and every concept we'll see practically. Okay. But do the practice on this one as of now, whatever we have discussed.